What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. One of my favorite movies came out on this date, July 27th, in the year 1984, starring one of the most talented musicians to ever walk this earth, Prince Rogers Nelson. Rest in peace, Prince. You are missed, and your music is iconic and will live on forever. So, Prince was born June 7th, 1958, and he passed away April 21st, 2016. He was an American singer, songwriter, musician, record producer. His talents, he could play almost every single instrument, and he has I think a safe in his estate that's still full of his music. I mean, that's, I guess, an urban legend, but I believe it. I think that he is just all around. He embodied so much personality, so many hidden talents. You guys remember the skits that Dave Chappelle would talk about playing Prince, in basketball. And he was like, man, Prince, he could ball. Like he was the truth on the court. And then after they would ball, he offered them pancakes. Like just real. He definitely marched to the tune of his own drummer. Okay. He was androgynous, right? His whole persona was just blurring the lines of fashion, of music, of just all the musical genres. You know what I mean? When he went up against the Warner Brothers studio because he was trying to get out of his contract and take more agency and autonomy over his music, he completely distanced himself from the name Prince, which was his birth legal name, right? But he became a symbol, the artist formerly known as Prince. There's so much that I just love and respect about Prince. I miss him so much. But Purple Rain came out 1984, and it incorporated rock and drama, and it was loosely based upon his real life. It featured his band, The Revolution, and the cast featured, Apollonia. She's the star or she's his leading love interest. Morris Day in the time. Oh my goodness. Now, I was a baby, okay, when this came out. And when I say a baby, I mean like, super young, still in diapers. But this movie grossed over $70.3 million, and they only had a budget of $7.2 million. Okay. Just hands down iconic. It won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. And many publications and critics alike have regarded Purple Rain as one of the greatest musical films in history. It's definitely my favorite, okay? When Doves Cry is just, that song will go down in history. Let's Go Crazy it was number 2. And then, of course, the hit Purple Rain. The soundtrack certified, it went platinum 13 times over, okay? Prince was just a musical genius. He really was. The movie sold, or the soundtrack sold over 25 million copies worldwide. So what is the movie about, right? So Prince, his nickname is The Kid. That's what everybody calls him throughout the entire movie. And he's extremely talented, but he's also troubled, okay? And he's the lead singer in a band based out of his own hometown in Minneapolis. And the band is called The Revolution, which is, again, this is just his autobiography, basically. So to escape his difficult home life, because, he was talking about how his parents were just always fighting and there was just a lot of abuse, unfortunately. His father, just verbally and physically abused him and his mother. He spent his days rehearsing, right? That was his outlet. He would always play on his guitar, making music with his band, singing. Just that was where he could just pour out his heart and soul into his craft. and he spent his nights performing at the First Avenue nightclub. So when Morris Day and the Time came, and they were basically like the villains of the movie, then they were battling for the top spot at the nightclub. So Morris, he was basically threatened by Prince and the revolution. He Morris goes after Apollonia, which is the kid's girlfriend. Okay, so then he creates a girl group to rival the kid and his band, The Revolution. And her girl group is called Apollonia 6. Okay, so when she, basically lets the kid, her boyfriend, know that she's in Apollonia 6, and then was created by his rival, Morris Day, right? He gets really upset and they have a fight, unfortunately. So he is, again, he's drowning at home. He's drowning, with his relationship. Then with the band, they want to incorporate more of their music, like his guitarist, his keyboardist. They're like, trying to encourage him to listen to their things and share the spotlight. He doesn't want to do that. Okay. He feels like that's the one thing that he has control over. He doesn't have control over anything else in his life but his music, and he's unwilling to give it up. So Apollonia 6 is successful at first, but then she gets into it with Morris Day. He's trying to control her. They go back and forth, and Apollonia, she leaves, right? She has to, take care of self first. And he's not doing a good job of that. So when he goes home, he finds that his house is just in tatter. It's a mess. Okay. His mom is nowhere to be found. And unfortunately, with his dad, he unalives himself, basically, which is horrific. And so the kid is heartbroken. And, he picks up a cassette tape the next morning of one of Wendy and Lisa's compositions, who, again, they were trying to get him to play their music all along. And he pours into all that heartbreak from losing Apollonia, from losing his father, from losing the top spot at the nightclub, from just losing control over his life. He just surrenders and just says, okay, I'm just going to use what is presented in front of me, that cassette tape from the other members in his band, and he creates Purple Rain. He dedicates it to his father's late memory. And as the song begins, he tells everybody, this is a song that the girls in the band wrote, so he doesn't take credit. And of course, they absolutely love it. And he leaves before he can face any more rejection, because after all that heartbreak, losing Apollonia, after everything, but then he comes back, gets on his motorcycle, and he realizes, wait, everybody loves the song, which is, of course, the truth, right? The song sold worldwide. So he goes back to the club. Everybody's waiting there, they're greeting him with approval. And then Apollonia comes back. She's in tears because of just how moving the song is. She embraces him. And then he gets back on stage, fully revived. And he sings, I would die for you, and baby, I'm a star. And everything works out in the end. But man, he definitely went through a whole lot of heartbreak, but that's life, right? We deal with adversities. And Prince, in his own life, would take all of just everything that he was going through in his life, all the heartache, all the heartbreak, and he would, pour into his music. So that was his creative outlet. I love Purple Rain. I hope you guys did too. Please drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Of course, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite song from Purple Rain? Is it Purple Rain? Is it When Doves Cry? Is it, whatever it is? let me know. Let's go crazy. Please be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Take care, Aces. Bye.